Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon to everyone. Myself is Kiran, and I will take your history for UPSC CSC category. And the importance of history in prelims and mains. It's really very important subject to qualify civil services. So first of all, I want to give you introduction that how we should try to understand history for the civil services exams. Okay, so first of all, you have to understood the weightage of history for civil services in prelims and mains. So first of all, we have to understand importance for history for prelims point of view, right? So general or average weightage is uh, 15 to 20 questions, right? And basically history topic covers in mains exam in first paper, right? And if you know the prelims syllabus, in the prelims, basically questions comes from Indian national freedom struggle movement. You know, and you know what is Indian national freedom struggle? Basically, all activities from 1857 to 1947, all political activities which took place between 1857 to 1947, that is called Indian freedom struggle period. Yeah, Indian national movement, understand, right? And now I'm going to explain which topic we are going to cover today. The most important chapter for Indian freedom struggle. First of all, I will explain Indian freedom struggle. In three stages, basically. Indian freedom struggle. Indian freedom struggle, all political activities which were took place between 1857 to 1947. That is called Indian freedom struggle or Indian national movement. The Indian freedom struggle is studied under three stages or three periods, right? The first phase of Indian freedom struggle or Indian national movement is moderate phase. Moderate phase, right? It starts from, yes. क्या बोतल? अच्छा. Right, guys? ठीक है. So the first phase of Indian freedom struggle, it's not IFS, it's Indian freedom struggle, it's short phase. Moderate phase, which starts from the foundation of Indian National Congress to 1905. It is considered as complete a moderate phase. Moderate phase means when in Indian National Congress there were liberal leaders were there like Dadabhai Naroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, like this, right? So the liberal moderate leaders, that was the phase of these period, right? And what are the features of moderate phase, right? What are the features, why this period is called as moderate phase? And the second phase I will tell you later what are the features of moderate phase. And the second phase of Indian freedom struggle is extremists, the period of extremists. you know the ideologies of radical like Bal Palal, you must have heard about, right? Or the revolutionary period, right? And the phase is considered from 1905 to 1915. And the third and the very most important phase of Indian freedom struggle, that is third and last phase of Indian freedom struggle, that is Gandhian era. You know, that is Gandhian era, and this era is considered from 1915 to 1948. Why? Because 1915 was the very important era for the modern Indian history, because this was that era when the Gandhi entered to Indian politics, you know. On 9th of Jan 1915, Gandhi arrived to India from the South Africa, you know. And from 1915 onwards, Gandhi ji completely indulged himself to the Indian freedom struggle against the British colonialism. Is that clear to you, right? So this was the basically three phases. Okay, so you know what happens between 1885 to 1905, what happened between 1905 to 1915, what happened from 1915 to 1948. Okay, so many incidents, so many events took place, so many personalities, issues are there, right? Basically, about this topic I will take here from Gandhian era, right? From Gandhian era. Okay, so I will take important topic here like Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement. So today we will start our class from Gandhian era, and Gandhian era which took place from 15 to 48. Basically, this era is again studied into two categories. First, Gandhian era is categorized again into two parts. First one is Gandhian regional movement. Gandhian regional movement. You must have heard about Champaran movement, second Kheda movement, Satyagrah we can also call it. Next one is Ahmedabad mill strike. Mill strike or Satyagrah you can call it, right? Right? So these are the Gandhian regional movement phase, we can say it, or the period we can say it. And the next one is All India movement. All India movement phase or period we can call it. So it starts from the non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, quit India movement, right? This was the categorization. Okay, this explanation is given in many books. Okay, so now I'm going to explain what is necessary from civil services point of view. For example, if we are studying Gandhian era, okay, so in our syllabus, in main syllabus, this is mentioned that all historical events, issues, important events, issues, and personalities from mid of the 18th century till present. It means, what is the meaning of mid 18th century? 1750 to 1947. What are the important events? The questions will be focused on the events. So we have to focus on the syllabus, right? So what the syllabus says, we are going to, why we are not much successful in civil services. What was the basic reason? Basically, we have to we are much indulged in the books and notes and all that. We are not focusing on the syllabus, what the syllabus of UPSC says, and from the on reading the syllabus of UPSC, I came out from this conclusion that from 1750 to 1947, the history topics are focused on events, means what are the important events 1750 to 1947. For example, 1857 revolt was the most important event, so we can include the 1857 revolt in the events, and other thing is issues. Issues means what are the problems, like what are the problems of moderate phase of Indian freedom struggle. We can include this fact into the issues. And the next one, and very important, that is personalities, right? Personalities. If you have gone through the previous question papers of mains, then you will must find what, that many questions were asked on the basis of personalities. For example, in the very first year when this syllabus was included in the mains in 2013, a question was asked that how you can say that Lord Dalhousie laid the foundation of modern India. The question was based on the Lord Dalhousie. Lord Dalhousie was the Governor General of India from 1848 to 56, right? So this was the basic meaning we have to understand, means what to study and what to avoid. This is very important decision to take while preparing in civil services, right? So events, issues, personalities, right? So we will focus on these three things when we will cover our these topics, right? For example, if I'm teaching you Champaran moment, then we have to understand why Champaran moment was took place. What were the basic causes behind this? So, in order to study for prelims point of view or mains point of view, we have to understand some basic things, that what to, why, how, what are the causes and consequences are very important, right? So, for example, if I'm taking one topic to read from Gandhian era. Okay, so how we will start? So first of all, before understanding Champaran, Kheda, Ahmedabad, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, quit India movement, there are a lot of things to read in these topics, and this is not the way to read for the civil services point of view. The main things we have to understand, that is, first of all, we have to understand who is Gandhi. Who is Gandhi, right? And what are the methods? What are the methods and methods and principles used by Gandhi in Indian national movement? Indian national movement. For example, I'm giving here example in order to explain you in a better way, like first methods. And you know who is Gandhi? You know it very well, and in a better meaning, you can understand him. Father of nation. Gandhi is not a person. Gandhi is a personality. Gandhi is a thought. Gandhi is a ideology, right? Gandhi is not a person, right? As per the thoughts, right? The next important thing, what are the methods and principles used by Gandhi? Why he became as a thought? Why he became as an ideology for the humanity? What are those causes? We have to focus on these. So, being an IS officer, we have to focus on the mentality, right? so that we can improve our decision making ability. For example, Gandhi used non-violence, non-violence, satyagrah, principle of trusteeship, grassroots democracy, Swaraj, Swaraj. And the next one is stateless state, stateless, stateless state, and classless society. We have to focus on these principles and methodology in order to understand the Indian national freedom struggle. So these are those principles which were included by Gandhiji in the Indian freedom struggle, and these are those features which made Indian national freedom struggle a praiseworthy, a value. These are those values which were put by Gandhiji in the Indian freedom struggle. Is that clear to you? Okay. So non-violence and satyagraha are the same coin, are the same aspects, right? How the trusteeship, what is the meaning of trusteeship? So non-violence, if you are fighting for a noble cause, right, then you should try, your means must be pure. Okay. What is the meaning of trusteeship? What is the meaning of trusteeship? Trusteeship means, uh, basically this concept is given by Gandhiji against to capitalism. What did the capitalism say? Capitalism say that private property, who is the owner of private property, right? Ambani, Adani, and all that, right? But here, according to Gandhi's principles of trusteeship, according to him, capital is just protected by capitalist and not honor, and not honor. They were not the owner of the capital, they were just the protector or the guardian. Why? Because capital is not the outcome or not the result of earning of soul that person. Okay, it is the contribution of entire society in making or in creation that particular capital, right? So here, in Gandhi's views, the ideology of socialism or community based things emerged particularly from here, right? And what the grassroots democracy means panchayats. This thing is also included our Indian constitution, Article 40, panchayats. So, how these thoughts you will apply it? Swaraj. This is basically Indian version of liberty. Swaraj. What is the meaning of Swaraj? Self government. Swaraj, self government, right? And what is the meaning of stateless, state or classless society? If you have given the prelims of 2020, or if you have gone through the 2020 prelims questions, that you will find one question, that what is similarity between Marxism and Gandhism. The questions are coming from the ideology, right? And here, that what is the similarity between Marxism and Gandhism? So this is the very important similarity between Gandhism and Marxism, that it is stateless and classless society, because both Gandhi and Marx consider this concept that the society must be classless. There should not be any class, upper class, honors, properties, and all that. Okay. And how the classless society or the stateless state will established? How? If there is absence of private property. This is according to Gandhi, right? So these are those basics ideologies or the basic principles which were used by Gandhiji in the respective moment from time to time. Okay, so in order to understand the functioning or the all facts and figures of any particular moment, we have to understood that what particular methods, ideologies, contributions were done by Gandhiji in order to make them a big success. Okay, so this is very important in order to understand, because methodology or the ideology matters after every working. For example, if we are preparing for the civil services, there is a huge syllabus and the very lengthy syllabus, and how you will tackle that thing, how you will memorize, how you will keep all these things in your mind. So all these things depend upon your strategy, right? So strategy matters. That's why these questions are asked in our paper. Okay, and if you have gone through the previous papers, you must know one question, that if Gandhi were not in our Gandhi was not in our freedom struggle, then what will be the achievements of Indian freedom struggle? This is very important, and I can say that you can't attempt the IS mains questions from any book, because no book give answer of this question, that if Gandhiji means, you have to write the achievement of Indian freedom struggle without Gandhi. For example, if Gandhi was not there, so if Gandhi was not there, it may be Gandhi and Era was not there. There will be moderate phase, there will be revolutionary phase. Okay, for example, how we can prove this thing, that if Gandhiji will not be there, then non-violent will be not there. Okay, yes, why? You must know about one thing, when non-cooperation was started by Gandhiji in 1920, a very important incident was took place on 4th of Feb 1922. That is Chori Chora event, you know. And Chori Chora event was the most violent event at that time. And when that event took place, Gandhiji decided to suspend this non-cooperation movement. Why? And everyone created a big suspense or a questioning on the leadership or the patriotic tendency of Gandhiji. Why? Why? Because if Gandhiji was not there, so then there were so many violent events were there. And today I'm going, and today I might have teach you so many Jallianwala massacre in Indian history. There were so many Jallianwala or so many violent events are there in Indian freedom struggle. Okay, so it was the Gandhi's leadership that he showed us the path of non-violent, right? Because according to him, so many things are there, like values, if we are going on a true path, if we are fighting for a satya, if we are insisting on the truth, then definitely we will win. Because if we are following the right strategy or the right means or the truthful means, then there will be no fear in our hearts, in our minds, and definitely we will success, right? In these, right? So this is the main things, right? So I think some things you know it very well, right? So in this way you have to understand each and everything. Next, now we are going to start non-cooperation moment. Okay, so basically, what are the causes, what are the consequences, why the non-cooperation movement was started, what are the programs we will. Okay, so what to study when we are going to read a particular topic for the civil services exam point of view. For example, if we are studying non-cooperation movement, non-cooperation movement, which start from 1920 to 22. This was the very, very important moment in Indian freedom struggle by Gandhi. What to study? First of all, we have to understand the background. Then major facts. Next, key programs. Next, causes of non-cooperation movement. Next, consequences. NCM stands for non-cooperation movement, right? Why declined? So these are six things. In this way, we have to make some structure in our mind. Okay. First of all, we have to gone through previous papers, that what kinds of questions were asked in previous papers from non-cooperation moments. In that way, we will mold our syllabus, we will mold our strategy of studying and memorizing, right? So if we are going to study non-cooperation moment, we have to understand the background. What are the basic background? Okay. So the background of non-cooperation moment was light in Khilafat moment. In Khilafat moment. So here we will read some important events or some views about Khilafat moment. On the next way, we'll cover major facts. Major facts means in which session it was endorsed, means non-cooperation moment was endorsed. So sessions, venue, who was president. So all these things we will cover. Although factual things are not asked in UPSC, right? But this is not correct. Factual things are asked in UPSC. So we have to learn facts so that we can develop our concept, right? I will later explain you what is fact and what is concept, right? So keep focus on there. And what are the key programs, that what to do or not to do, do's and don'ts. So the list of all these things, basically we will cover course of program, that you will resign, you will quit and all that, right? So in this causes of the non-cooperation movement, like there are so many incidents uh, which led to non-cooperation movement. First of all, the issue of khilafat was not properly listened by British government, and there are so many, Jallianwala, the most dangerous, and the Rowlatt Act, and the next one is Montague, Chelmsford reforms. Indians were not happy or satisfied with this constitutional reform. So these are those basic causes, right? And what are the consequences? What are the consequences? Consequences means mass learnt about exploitative policies, exploitative policies of British colonialism, and they have also became aware about their rights and mass protest, that how to mobilize public, how to mobilize mass in order to take a stand against British exploitatory policies, right? So here these are those facts and why declined. The most violent event, Chauri Chora, happened in Gorakhpur, right? And that's why after this event, Gandhi has decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement, right? So now I'm going to discuss about Khilafat moment, right? Basically, in Indian history, the year 1919 to 1922, this period was very important. Why? Because in this period, a lot of new things happened in Indian history, including in politics, including in economics, including in emergence of new ideologies. A lot of new ideologies emerged during this phase, especially 1920s is very important regarding this, right? So here 1919, what happened? 1914 to 1918, we know First World War. First World War. This was the period for the First World War. In 1918, First World War was finished, right? And the Khilafat movement was there. Basically, this is the only moment in Indian freedom struggle which is not directly linked to Indian politics. How? Khilafat movement. So first of all, Khilafat movement, first thing, is not directly linked to Indian politics. It is an outcome of a result of First World War or World War First, you can write it. Okay. This moment is based on a religious issue. A religious issue. And what was the issue? Next thing. What was the issue? Basically, in the First World War, Britain was fighting against Germany. You know, Britain or England, you can say England is part of Britain. England versus Germany in the First World War. So, in this First World War, Turkey was a country. So, Turkey supported Germany against England. Okay. So, Germany was supported by Turkey in the First World War. And Turkey was a Islamic country. Turkey was a Islamic country, and the Sultan of Turkey was Khalifa. Khalifa. We can say it Caliph, Khalifa. And Khalifa is regarded as religious teacher for the entire Islamic community, right? But you know the result of First World War. In the First World War, England defeated Germany in a bad manner, right? And a lot of things and a lot of foundations, obligations were imposed on Germany as a consequences of the First World War. And when Germany was defeated, obviously Turkey was also defeated because Turkey was stood against England in the First World. So definitely England will do some bad with Turkey. And what the England did for with Turkey, yeah? After First World War, England dismembered the Sultan of Turkey. Dismembered means Turkey was distributed among the alliance parties like England, some parts were divided. And finally, Caliph, who is regarded as a religious teacher of entire Islamic community, have some religious or the religious sentiments with Khalifa, right? So when England dismembered the Sultan of Khalifa, means their religious teachers was dismembered, he was removed from the office of Sultan. Basically, this thing was considered as an insult by the entire Muslim community all over the world. And this thing is not considered a good thing in the interest of Muslims. And obviously, India is also uh, having population of Muslim, right? And this thing was protested against British all over world. And this thing is also protested or boycotted by Indian Muslims also in India, right? And when this thing came to know to Indian Muslims that their religious teacher was dismembered by England, they have started a movement against British government in India. And this movement was supported by the Gandhiji and other important leaders of Indian National Congress, right? Okay. So main thing is that this movement was based on a religious issue, but later it was converted into non-cooperation movement. Why? Because what was the basic demand in the Khilafat movement? Why it is called as Khilafat movement? Why? Because basically the demand was done by Muslim leaders that restoration of Caliph of Turkey. Restore that our religious teacher must be restored because we can't tolerate this insult. This is the basic things, right? But British government was not going to hurt this thing, right? He's not ready to listen any demand done by Indians leaders towards this issue. Okay, so Gandhi has given an ultimatum to British government that if the Khalifa was not restored again to the throne or again given the caliph office, then they will start a non-cooperation with against British government, right? And this was the main background against for the non-cooperation movement. Is that clear to you, right? So this is the way you have to understand the basic things in order to understand the entire non-cooperation movement, right? And now we are going to measure facts, right? So in this way, like Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali brothers, uh, you know, they led the movement, Khilafat movement. Later, Gandhi supported because 1920s, according to Gandhiji, 1920s was that year where the period for Indian freedom struggle is called as golden period because that is the only period where Hindu Muslim unity can be seen as a golden period, right? Because in this period, that period where Hindu and Muslim together fighting against British, right? And now, 31st August 1920, Khilafat movement converted into non-cooperation movement, right? And in September 1920, a special session a special session was called a special session was called by leaders Indian National Congress, right? And in this session was basically called in Calcutta. And who was the president was Lala Lajpat Rai, Lala Lajpat Rai. Okay, basically in this session, non-cooperation movement was endorsed. Non-cooperation movement was endorsed, right? And later it is decided that we will prepare the entire course of actions or the programs in the annual sessions of Congress, right? And later in 1920, Nagpur annual session was there and V. Raghavachari was the president, and there the entire strategy and the course of program and all the actions and all the decisions were taken place. That session was very important. So here you will memorize two sessions. First session is special session in September 1920 under the presidency of Lala Lajpat Rai, where the program or the moment of was endorsed that we are accepting the proposal. Yes, definitely we will do it. This thing is accepted. Basically, endorsement means we are accepting. Yes. Okay. And in the 1920s there was a annual session. V Raghavachari was the president, and the entire course of program was prepared here, right? And what are the programs were done, right? What are the key programs? So here I'm going to explain, right? So I think you are getting my viewpoints. This is very important and this is very easy to understand, right? There is no need to confuse about the things what to read and what to not, right? You have to think, or you have to focus on that particular thing what is happening. Generally in the books so many things are written simultaneously, like if you are writing non-cooperation movement, again you will find some rowlett act, like some Muslim league, about some home rule league moment. You will find many things on the same place and you will get confused. So I'm here actually to resolve or to clear that problem for yourself, right? And what are the key programs, right? So what are the key programs? So basically the key programs were uh, decided in Nagpur session, in Nagpur session in 1920, and V. Raghavachari, Vijay Raghavachari, was the president. Next thing, basically, Gandhi ji addressed, or Gandhi ji gave a call, to mass. The most important event, gave a call to mass that they will achieve Swaraj within a 1 year. Swaraj within 1 year. So you give me your support. If you will give me your support, means Gandhiji is addressing to the mass that if you will give me support, if you will be with me, then we will achieve Swaraj within 1 year, right? And including this boycott of schools, colleges, means government institutions were boycotted, and boycott of legislative assemblies, and many changes were done in the working in the constitution of Indian National Congress, like a 15 member Congress working committee was set up, right? And the membership fee, in order to become the member for the Indian National Congress, the fee was reduced from 1 rupee to 4 anna. 4 anna, you know it? 4 annas, right? So these are basically boycott of government institutions. Students left the colleges, schools, teachers left the colleges, schools, and advocates, government officials, everyone have left the resigned from their post, and they participated in the non-cooperation movement. So this was the basically course of program. Later, one thing I want to clear here, when non-cooperation was suspended by Gandhiji, right? After the violent event of Chauri Chaura, Gandhi was arrested and was sent to jail. After that, a disagreement took place between the leaders of Congress. And what was that disagreement? Basically, there were two opinions in that. uh, two opinions among the leaders. One was saying that we should uh, left the boycott of legislative assembly, means we have to take entry into legislative assembly so that we can create a hurdle for the British government. This was the main thing, right? And what happened in this way? But some followers or the Gopal Krishna Gokhale, C. Rajagopalachari, they boycotted this. No, Gandhiji had made this rule, so we will continue it. Okay, but some were not agree. That's why later, after the suspension of non-cooperation movement, the freedom struggle leaders of Indian National Congress were divided into two groups, that is changer and no changer. Changer wanted the ending of legislative, they advocated the entry of legislative council, but the no changer, they were the follower of the same, that we have to need, like we will continue this, otherwise what the Gandhiji think about it, right? So this was the main thing, right? And the next one is a major change was took place into the constitution of Indian National Congress, that is a 15-member Congress working committee was set up. So that why Congress working committee was set up? The main intention behind the setting up of Congress working committee is that because now the working of Indian national movement became very complex, and it is not easy to organize a session for the with the in all freedom leaders at one place. Okay, for example, if we are going to launch some any moment on any particular setup, then you need not to call the all members that you have to sit in a particular session. No, you can do this work through these 15 members, and later this can be presented in the annual sittings, right? So this was basically done in order to make the Indian national freedom struggle easy, so that we can't wait, because annual sessions were generally decided in the December of every year. How we can wait, right? So this decision was taken place, right? So this was the course of action, right? Now we are going to discuss the causes of the NCN, right? So there is no need to study more than these points for the non-cooperation movement, because these are the more than suffice for you, right? So the next thing we are going to, so we have covered what is the background, we have covered major effects, we have covered key programs. Now we are going to discuss causes of non-cooperation movement. Then I will explain causes and then why it is declined. This is very simple, right? Right, sir? Okay, so we will cover next topic in the next chapter, in the next class. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.